In the world of real estate, few names stand out like the Alexander brothers. These guys built an empire from the ground up, making a name for themselves and a whole lot of money. You have 3 brothers in total from 2 Israeli parents. The oldest brother, Tal, he's 38 years old, and he's got 2 younger twin brothers, Oren and Alon. They're both 37 years old, but they're so close in age, the brothers often seemed like a set of triplets instead of a set of twins, with a brother 11 months older.
The Alexander brothers were stars in the luxury real estate world, known for selling high-end Manhattan properties.
We're 11 months apart, and I have a twin brother, so we were in a sense triplets.
Tal Alexander and Oren Alexander both moved to New York City in 2008, where they made their start in the real estate industry. They had a dream of making it big as agents. The following year, Oren celebrated his first major deal, the sale of an $8.2 million penthouse in Manhattan. That was in 2009. The brothers went on to represent big-time celebrities and A-listers in fashion and entertainment, like Tommy Hilfiger, Steve Madden, Kim Kardashian, and Kanye West. They founded the Alexander team at Douglas Elliman Real Estate in 2012 and were featured in the Forbes 30 Under 30 in real estate. In 2019, the brothers represented the buyer in the most expensive residential home transaction in the U.S. ever, when a 24,000 square foot penthouse sold for $238 million. Also that same year, the brothers sold an estate in Miami for nearly $50 million, the most expensive single-family home ever sold in the Miami area at that time. Then in June 2022, the brothers left Douglas Elliman Real Estate after running their team under the company for a decade, moving on to launch their own firm. And now 2 years later, their whole empire is crashing down. The brothers were fixtures in the New York and Miami nightlife circuit, which included spending a lot of money on women and parties filled with alcohol and other substances. Now the brothers are trading in their expensive suits and luxurious lifestyle for jailhouse jumpsuits.
Do you have anything you'd like to say to the public?
The mother of the Alexander brothers had nothing to say to us after her sons appeared before a judge yesterday. All 3 of them, Oren, Alon, and Tal Alexander, allegedly accused of being sexual predators, all facing sexual battery charges.
Take a second to make sure you're subscribed to the channel and click the notification bell for all updates.
Federal prosecutors are alleging 3 brothers used their wealth and positions to entice and rape dozens of women.
2 of those brothers are luxury real estate brokers here in the city. Alice Gaynor covers courts and public safety and has more now from officials.
Prosecutors allege 37-year-old twins Alon, Oren, and their older brother, 38-year-old Tal Alexander, worked together and with others to drug, sexually assault, and dozens of victims.
The defendants allegedly used their wealth and status to recruit and pay for the travel of their intended victims.
Oren and Tal, prosecutors say, are luxury real estate agents in New York City, Miami, and other locations. In 2019, Tal gave CBS a tour of this Manhattan penthouse.
With these views.
Alon, they say, is an executive for a private security firm owned by the family. The indictment charges them with conspiracy to commit trafficking and trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion. It's alleged they've been operating this scheme since 2010, promising romantic relationships, luxury travel and experiences, parties, and events to lure women they met by chance or sharing photographs of women to select those they found sufficiently attractive to invite, allegedly contacting them through social media or dating applications. The indictment also claims they obtained drugs they agreed to provide to the women, including
mushrooms, and GHB. As we allege that these drugs caused some of the women to be physically unable to fight back or to escape.
It's alleged they sometimes drugged victims' drinks. The Alexander brothers were arrested in Miami and face separate state felony charges along with their cousin.
The victim stated she recalled Alon and Oren Alexander, the 2 brothers, arguing about who was going to rape her first.
Officials are urging any other potential victims to contact them. In Lower Manhattan, Alice Gaynor, CBS News, New York.
If convicted, they face up to life in prison, and a lawyer for Iran says that he is innocent and that the evidence will show that neither he nor his brothers ever committed a crime.
Here's the story of one woman. She spoke of preparing for a dinner date. She was full of excitement and anticipation. Why? Because she met one of the rich Alexander brothers online. She was invited to a dinner, followed by a private after party at the Versace mansion in Miami. The entire place was shut down just for him, so she was definitely impressed. She saw him with no clothes on in the pool, just partying and doing whatever. But she didn't think, wait, what kind of party is this? Is this a Hugh Hefner party or is it Disneyland? Well, a man walking around without clothes can't be Mickey Mouse. Even Mickey has a uniform. Here's a question for the sensible people in the room right now. If you're at a party and you see a man walking around like that, do you A, leave the party? You know, because obviously you didn't get the memo that it was that type of party? Or B, do you follow the same man that was just in the pool with no trunks on up to a secluded room? Well, yeah, of course you don't follow the pantsless man into the dark secluded room away from the party with others unless you have intentions of being pantsless too. Like, duh. But no, what did this woman do? I'll let her tell you.
In this particular case, the victim, now 35, says Oren Alexander pursued her on social media until she agreed to a dinner date and then a party after. She says it was an October night in 2013.
I agreed to go, and that party was located at the Versace mansion, and it was exclusively closed down for him.
She recalls a crowd of men and women at the party, along with Alon Alexander, Oren's twin brother. She says he was naked in the pool, asking others to join him. Then Oren brought her up to a secluded area where things took a violent turn.
We were up there. He threw himself at me. He started being very rough. First, it was shock. I was trying to get him off me, yelling, but he didn't listen. And, the attack went on.
When it was over, she says he casually dressed and strolled down the stairs without saying a word.
So the woman says after that happened, the Alexander brother that she's accusing of this just casually walked out the room. That was over a decade ago. Then one woman came forward with a lawsuit recently following this trend of accusers who never filed police reports previously, but now they're looking to all cash out with civil petitions, which prompted an attorney to go fishing for other women who went to these same parties to start the process of bombarding the court system with multiple lawsuits alleging the same activities. They all showed up to these after parties with people walking around like it's Hugh Hefner mania. They decided to stay, get wasted, and ended up in compromising positions that over a decade later, they realized may be worth some money, as these guys continue to grow their bank accounts. So they're all rushing to file these civil lawsuits. They have over 50 of them now.
The first couple of weeks, just the phone didn't stop, and I was on the phone nonstop. And it started first with 2 people, 3, 6, 10, 12. We're at the point where we're over probably 52 women who've reported to us.
More than 52 women have come forward to speak out against the Alexander brothers, detailing their disturbing experiences. And of course, this number is expected to keep growing as additional cases continue to emerge, and 30-plus-year-old women remember that one night back in their 20s with the Alexander brothers where these men would promise to give them a luxurious lifestyle, only for them to wake up and realize they're struggling, tired of working, and they want a Cassie Diddy bag too. So now you have victims who say they had encounters with the brothers, some spanning back decades, coming out to file new reports, quickly collecting a long history of abuse claims. The authorities, including federal investigators, have even begun looking into cases that date back to when the Alexander brothers were still in high school. As the scope of allegations expand, you have a lot of people wondering about these brothers' actions and if they may have left a trail of harm that stretches far beyond what was initially known. And the full extent of their misconduct, if proven to be true, may be far greater than anyone anticipated. Now, how did these brothers lure women in? Well, of course, it was the money. It's not that hard for women to latch on to you when you have billions in real estate transactions flowing through your business every year. But according to the FBI and Damian Williams, U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, the Alexander brothers targeted their victims through online dating apps, parties, and social connections, allegedly exploiting every opportunity to find new targets.
On numerous occasions, one or more of the defendants drugged and assaulted women they encountered by chance at bars, at nightclubs, social events, and dating apps.
As wealthy real estate moguls who close billions of dollars in deals annually, prosecutors say the Alexander brothers use their wealth to lure women in. With their power, status, and influence, they offered the opportunity for gold-digging women to indulge in a lifestyle that included all expense-paid trips, stays at luxury hotels, exotic activities, and access to high-profile social circles. But now you have a bunch of women coming out to tell a different story. They're saying what began as a night of a lifetime quickly turned into a dangerous trap.
They're awful. They're monsters.
The Alexander brothers all appeared in a Miami-Dade courtroom where they answered a plea of not guilty and offered up millions of dollars to be released before trial. Despite their attempts to secure release, they were denied.
Recognized that the judge who signed the warrant gave him a bond plus house arrest, but instead filed a motion for pretrial detention pending final hearing pursuant to Florida statute 907.041. And because it's considered a dangerous crime, I'm required to hold you with no bond. You'll see.
Your Honor. Your Honor.
Yes, sir. Don't talk about the facts, though. Your attorney's here.
Your Honor, my wife is 9 months pregnant, due any day now with our first child. Her family's in Brazil. She's counting on me to be with her during labor.
Yeah, that was one of the brothers trying to get out, using the excuse that his wife was 9 months pregnant and he had to get to the hospital. Like, sure, buddy, you might as well cancel all your plans. You're not going anywhere. Now, although the three brothers are already in custody, investigators remain cautious as they continue to search for additional suspects involved in their alleged operations. Authorities have made it clear that the brothers were not acting alone. They are now working to identify others who may have been complicit in these crimes. The investigation is ongoing, and law enforcement is determined to uncover the full story of every victim, along with the network they accuse the Alexander brothers of operating.
In terms of other people that we're looking at, I can't get into who else is under investigation. I will just repeat what we said, not only in the indictment, but in my remarks, that they were not acting alone. I reference other people. And so we will continue investigating as long and as hard as it takes to get to the bottom of the full scope of the conduct that we have here.
These guys are just another case of very wealthy men losing it all over allegations surrounding women. Here's the thing, though, that I wonder about all these cases that date back 10, 20, 30 years ago. How do you prove or disprove any of these allegations without any real evidence? That right there should be a case study in itself, because you have a lot of these crimes that were never reported. So you don't have the same evidence that would have been available, let's say 10 years ago or 20 years ago. So from a legal point of view, I would like to see how they're going to argue these cases on both sides. Let's go ahead and get the conversation started. Tell me what you think about this below. Special thank you to Rob P. I appreciate you, Rob, for always showing support for the channel. If you want to show your support for the channel too, you have to use PayPal for now. The link is below. Ladies, fellas, want a balanced analysis, want the truth from a woman's perspective? Then you're going to want to subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to like and share.